Hey guys, it's Lily here and you are welcome back to my channel. So in this video today, I will be talking about life in the UK test as an important prerequisite for applying for indefinite leave to remain or naturalization here in the UK. If you'd like to know anything about the life in the UK test, please stay tuned. I'll be right back. Before I start this video, I'm going to quickly say that this video is not sponsored in any way, shape or form. All the information I'm passing in this video are from my lived experiences and from those of my friends around me that have written the same exam. So let's get into it. What is life in the UK test and why is this test so important? Life in the UK test is one of the basic requirements for when you want to apply to get your indefinite leave to remain in the UK, or you are applying for your naturalization. It does not expire from the day you pass the exam, because you can, like I said, you can use this for your ILR. And say for instance you get your ILR in 2018 and you decide for some reason I'm not quite ready yet to go ahead and apply for my naturalization, and you then applied for your naturalization 5 years or 10 years after you've done your after you've got your ILR, you can still use your test certificate for the life in the UK test to be able to apply for your naturalization whenever you are ready. It does not expire. About booking this test, there is only one place you can book this test, and it's on the gov.uk website. I will leave a link down below. Any other site for registering for this exam is not real. There are about 30 test centers here in the UK where you can write this exam. So whenever you're ready, on the website it will ask you to put in your postcode. So if you put that postcode, they will generate lots of centers around there where you can write this exam. So the exam must be booked at least 3 days in advance to the day you want to write it, and it currently costs £50. At the time I wrote it last year, I wrote mine in April of last year. At the time I wrote it, it was still £50, and it is still £50 today. So in the life in the UK test, you are required to answer 24 questions in 45 minutes. And to be able to pass this exam, you are expected to pass at least 18 questions. So you have to get 18 questions correct. So what do you need to book for this test? At the time you are making a booking for this exam, you need to have at least an email address. You need to have a valid ID, for instance, a driver's license, or your biometric residence permit, or your passport. It could be your Nigerian passport, Ghana passport, whatever passport you have. As long as it's valid, you're going to need this to book for this test. Also, you are going to need some money in a debit or credit card so you can actually pay when booking for the test. Please note that when you are going to sit for this test, you must bring with you the same form of ID you use when booking for the test. So if you use your driving license or you use your biometric residence permit, this is exactly what you're going to be bringing with you on the day of the test. If you don't bring, the same ID you use for booking the test, you will not be allowed to write the test that day, and you will not get a refund for not writing the test. What happens if you are unable to attend this test on the day that you're booked for it? You can cancel or rearrange it, and if you cancel before 72 hours leading to your test date, you'll get a full refund. But if you cancel anywhere closer, within the 3 days leading to the day you're going to write the exam, they will not refund you your money. Okay, so if for any reason you're not going to be able to sit for the exam, remember to cancel at least 72 hours, that is 3 days before your test date. Also, you are not allowed to bring children into the exam premises. So if you have got children, it's always good to have a child care plan in place on the day that you're going to write your test. If you don't have anyone that can drive you, and you check before and there isn't any parking space, they will usually tell you on the test center website whether or not there is available parking. If there is no parking, make arrangements for someone to bring you to the test center, or make plans of coming there with a public transport. Where I wrote my one, it was even worse that there is no parking space. Like, it was very, very difficult. So my husband dropped me off that day. I literally just jumped down in front of the test center, went in while he drove off the car to find somewhere nicer to park. And because it was 45 minutes, If you prepare properly, or if you are very, very smart, you can finish way before 45 minutes. You don't have to sit there for the whole 45 minutes. You can finish way before that. Now, to pass the exam, you are required to score at least 75% out of 100. And this means passing 18 out of the 24 questions that you are going to be having. When you pass this exam, you are issued a unique reference number. This unique reference number is what you are going to use to apply for your ILR or your naturalization when the time comes. So, you keep that safe. I got my test results immediately after coming out from the test center. Within 20 minutes, I was told that I have passed the exam. So this applies to everyone. As you're stepping out from the test center, within half an hour, at least within 1 hour, you should be able to receive an email and telling you whether you have passed or whether you have failed the exam. If in the unlikely chance that you failed the exam, you are allowed to resit this exam at least after 7 days. And this is to allow you time to properly prepare for the exam before receipting it. Now, let's talk about the preparation you need to make for this examination. I found, in my experience, that people think that the term life in the UK is, that the exam is going to be as simple as it sounds. Because they've been in the UK for probably 10 years at the time they're writing it, or even longer. And you feel like the experiences you have gained since living in the UK will be enough to write this test. You will not be any farther from the truth than that. Okay, this is the reason why people fail this exam. People underestimate the importance of actually preparing for this exam before going to write it, and they come out telling you, I wasn't able to pass this exam. The dates they were quoting, was, I wasn't expecting it to be like that. You were not expecting it to be like that because you didn't actually spend time to, read the right resources and get ready. So in order to prepare myself for the Life in the UK test, I did two things. I bought from Amazon a Life in the UK test preparation material, and it was a downloadable format. I downloaded it on my Kindle and read all the history around the questions on there. The second thing I did was that there is a website called lifeintheuktest.co.uk. I went on that website, and there's a lot of free practice questions that you can get. Now, I can vouch for this website. I'm going to link it down below. I can vouch for this website because some of the questions that I practiced on there, I was able to find them on the actual exam date. And to be able to unlock some more questions on this website, which is completely, if that is what you prefer, there is no rule that says if you don't, pay for the premium services, you won't be able to have access to some questions. The questions are there, they are free of charge. But if you want to have access to more of the questions, you pay, I think you register for the premium service. The first 30 days is free. And after that, they start charging you. What I can't remember is how much it is. To be able to find out that information, I have to actually log into that website, because as soon as I passed my Life in the UK test, I'm like, no longer interested. I cancelled my membership. So you can do that, okay? Once you know you want to write your Life in the UK test, you can actually register for the premium service, because you're getting the first 30 days free. And within that 30 days, if you're serious about passing, darling, you can do it. And as soon as you pass, just remember to go back there and cancel your subscription. If you don't want to buy an online copy like I did and you want a paperback, be sure to ask, people around you if they have done this exam, if they have the book that they use to prepare for this exam. One thing you must keep in mind is that they keep releasing new editions. Now, I can't say that I studied different editions to see what the differences are, but the one I used, I believe it was the 3rd edition. Like I said, I'm going to put a link for that one down below. I can't really remember all of the details, but it was enough to get me prepared. So I was studying with that, and then I will go back to lifeintheuktest.co.uk website to practice everything that I have studied. And I found that the more I studied, the quicker I was able to go through that 24 questions you need to go to, that you will see during the real exam day. And the more accurate I was getting with the results I was putting in there. So I would strongly suggest that you spend time reading whatever practice material that you can get your hands on, practice properly before you then register to go and write the actual test. And if you can, have a look at the lifeintheuktest.co.uk website. At least they have a number of questions that are free of charge that you don't have to pay for. And before you even pay for anything at all, you can create a login, right? And creating a login and becoming a member does not mean that they start charging you immediately. And don't forget that there is a free trial period before you can start paying. And in that free trial period, you have access to all of the materials online. So the question is, how quickly can you be able to, practice as much questions as you can to test if you are, ready to go and write the actual exam. So what happens at the test center? When you arrive at the test center, there are staff in the test center waiting to welcome you. And remember what I said about coming with the same ID that you use when booking for the test. They are going to check this against all the details that you've put on while registering to come and do this test. And then they might keep you in the waiting area until a computer is free that you can use. When you go into the exam room itself, where I did mine, there was about 10 computers in that room. There will be one invigilator making sure that people are not having problems with internet or things are hanging. If you finish your test before the 45 minutes allocated to it, you don't have to sit around waiting for the 45 minutes to be over. If you finish, let's say, within 10 minutes or within 15 minutes, you can just take the time you need, go through all your questions and see if there is anyone you flagged that you need to come back to, or if there is anyone you have doubts about that you want to change. Don't be in a hurry to rush out of the exam room, because once you come out, of course, you're not going to be allowed to go into that room again. I think, without bragging, that I've finished my exam at least before 10-15 minutes. I found it really, really easy, and I think that this was because I took my time to prepare for that test. Okay, let me also mention that if you have a European Union settled status in the UK and you want to apply for your British citizenship, you will still need to write Life in the UK test. The only time an EU person with a settled status is not allowed to write this exam is if they have passed the exam before in the past, if they are under 18 years old or above 65 years old, or they have a certificate proving that they have got some mental conditions that would not allow them to write that exam. If you are new to this channel, I say a very big welcome to you. Please subscribe while you are here. And if you are already here watching this video, a returning person who watches my video and you haven't subscribed yet, what can I do you? Please go ahead and click on that subscription button. Make sure you get the notification bell on so that whenever I put my videos out there, you'll be one of the first to see what I have to talk about. So thank you guys for being here today. I'll see you soon.